Hey, so are you going to take the same rig out this summer for the...
We're already talking rewrite, redraw.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. You know, we've done a show, and you have to, the way we do it, you got to do a show and really see what it looks like, you know. I've got some holes outside of my big circle. There's some big gaps there we need to fill in. You know, we might cut our rectangles into squares and make 4 instead of 2. We might throw some more little circles in that hole. Who knows? We're thinking of doing some vertical ladders behind the band in sheds because we're not 360. There's no sightline issue.
Sure.
You know, things like that. I've been dying to do the vertical. I did them on a Trey tour like 5 years ago, and they look great.
Yeah.
And I've just been waiting to do it with these guys. You know, it's funny, all the like on Aerosmith and on R. Kelly and all these other things that I've done, using different fixtures and working with different people. I've slowly, over a 5-year period, put together little pieces in my head going, oh, I'd love to use that on Phish and I could do this, or I'd like to hang lights like that on Phish because, you know, so finally we're back on Phish and I can implement all those experiences and try to make something really cool. So.
Right. What other bands have you been working with in this 5 years of...
I've mainly, I mean, aside from one-offs, which there have been plenty of, I've mainly been employed by the Black Crowes, Aerosmith, and R. Kelly. R. Kelly was kind of like a one-shot deal, 5-month tour, and that was great. As of right now, I'm currently Aerosmith's LD. Who knows what the conflicts are going to come in the future. Their schedule's ever-changing. And the Black Crowes, I'm also their LD, but they're fully aware that we need to fill that gap. So.
How are you liking the show pics? I noticed you used them a couple of good handfuls of times.
I love them.
Yeah?
I think they're great. I just talked to Craig Burris. I sent Craig Burris an email this morning, and we're just skimming the surface. We've been so narrow-minded and tunnel-visioned on the hard edge and the wash lights that we haven't had too much time to play with them. So we're using the stock content, throwing them in here and there, and we're going to get to going deep with those when the time allows.
Nice.
So, for Hampton, they're just kind of a cool thing to have.
Sure.
I'm imagining by June we're really going to have some neat stuff programmed.
Nice.
You know, I think right now I only have 2 pan and tilts programmed for them, out or crossed. You know, we just haven't gone there yet. But we love them. Great product. Funny thing, all during rehearsals and previs and an upstaging, we'd sit there and go, man, those things are so bright. Oh my God, we're never going to run them at 100%. And then last night, I was going, is that 100% to my programmer Dirk? He'd be like, yeah, it's 100%. I was looking up going, those things aren't as bright as I thought they were, are they? They are really bright. But when they're mixed in with lots of other gear, they just fit right in. They don't take over, which is what I want. I don't want anything to take over. So.
So on a less tech head sort of note, you had a good show last night. You enjoyed yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
You know, I had a much better second set than I did. I mean, I can't even describe the stress and pressure that I put on myself. I wouldn't even say it's being put on me by others, that I put on myself. And, you know, it's got to rock right off. It's got to be right. You know, and we spent a lot of time really just trying to get it to the way we needed it to be. With all the LED products, we've gone down a route to make it a lot more elegant, which I was real happy with last night. I've never written a cue stack for 2001, but I've never written a cue stack for a Phish song ever. I just have my board laid out, the way I have my board laid out, and I run the show.
Right.
But over this previous time, we wrote 2 cue stacks, one for Fluffhead and one for Divided Sky, which we got both those songs last night.
Yeah.
And the cue stacks are unbelievably intricate and deep, full of effects for every little note. I mean, I really tried to make some. I'm real proud of it. I consider the Fluffhead cue stack a masterpiece. And we got to run it last night, and it was flawless, and it just, I don't think I've ever been happier in my life. It just made me so happy.
We agree. Quite nice.
So.
Okay, now it's been a long time since you've been out with the boys and all that, and the environmental consciousness of the world is really coming on. Are you guys doing anything to green out the outfit for summer tour or anything like that other people do?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I do know we're going bio on all vehicles.
Awesome.
And this is the band is very adamant about doing these things. very dialed into what's going on in the world. They're very conscious of the economy. They feel, at least my understanding is, I've never actually had a verbal conversation about this, but my understanding is they feel good about coming back and playing these, getting back together and going and hitting it. With the economy being so tough, it's a nice way for people to go out and have a nice evening on a Saturday night. We're not charging $150 a ticket.
Exactly.
They're very conscious of those kinds of things. Obviously, we've had our green crew, and we've always done that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're recycling is huge. I mean, we have stacks and stacks and stacks of signs in our production office right now that say Phish plastic, Phish glass, Phish paper, and they're getting put up in all the appropriate places and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Now, my question then is, how much of that comes from the influence of the Roth Berry Festival from last year? Because it feels like they really raised a bar for the festival circuit. And all that.
I don't know the answer to that. However, Richard Glasgow, our tour manager slash, he's kind of the guy in charge, aside from the big management company. He's the road and tour go-to guy. He basically headed up Roth Berry, at least to the best of my knowledge, and he would be responsible for having the influence and having the decision-making and ideas to go ahead and do those sorts of things. So if Roth Berry was a big success in that realm, I would have to assume it's because of Richard Glasgow and his ideas. And he's our guy, and he's probably implementing some of his cool ideas here.
It was amazing to watch the level of consciousness that came up from Roth Berry. Did you make that scene last summer? No, the Roth Berry show?
I did not. I was touring. But I know Richard had his hands full, and we talked about it on the phone. And he was there for like a month, 2 months, several trips. I mean, he really dialed that thing in. He was, as far as I know, a big influence there. And he's a heck of a man. I mean, he's, I can't say enough about him. He can wear several hats at once and do it, and remain calm and do all jobs of all hats and pull them all off. He's a very unique individual.